London, a city known for its rich history, vast culture, and extraordinary sights, with over 300 museums, 250 art galleries, and 200 theatres. There's no wonder why this cosmopolitan capital attracts 19 million visitors each year. However, the reality of living in such a fast-paced, popular location brings its downfalls. With a population of 8,173,941 and counting, overcrowding, high living costs, and housing shortages seem to be a problem which is getting considerably worse. Being a university student and a resident myself, I'm yet to own a property and worry at the possibility if I ever will. A recent study found house prices have risen so much that the average home in London now costs almost 8 times the average earnings. Although it remains the world dominator in business and entertainment sectors, the capital is in a housing crisis. The housing crisis affects a wide spectrum of people, but those within social housing seem to be part of society which are cruelly getting impacted. The Ledbury estate is the largest estate of social housing in Peckham. The safety of 4 tower blocks was called into question in June 2017. Residents now fear that the estate could be completely regenerated and fully demolished without their consent. Hanan Majid, a previous resident and a member of Ledbury Estate Action Group, shed light on this situation.
So I was a resident for 6 or 7 years, but my wife who lives there, she'd lived there for maybe 10 to 11 years. Both my children were born there, so it's a place it's very close to all of our hearts. We were a very close knit community as well, because you're living in a tower block. You always bump into people on the way to work when you're when you're using the lifts. There's always people downstairs. There's always people outside. So we had a really lovely community, a really lovely atmosphere there as well. The realization that maybe the structure of this building isn't sound was just, for us it was, a lot of residents were complaining about their building. In their flats there were big cracks in the walls, so it was always at the edges, and we noticed we had these cracks, and this was before Grenfell, and we'd even taken some photographs of it. We contacted the council said no, that's just normal. And that's what happened to a lot of residents. Like, we've got residents who have been complaining for 30 years and they were told this is normal for a building like this, but what they're really meaning, this is normal for a council flat. This is what you should expect in a council flat. There's buildings all over London that need to be looked after. They're not being looked after. And then when Grenfell happened, that's when people started to realise, well, hold on, you've got people living in these buildings and they've been neglected. These buildings aren't safe. But this is not right. That's why we're fighting. And that's why you're finding more and more people are joining the movement. Every day there's more and more people joining the movement. On the other hand, you've got gentrification. Yeah? So we're talking about, our building was about safety, right? But now what happens with these blocks links in with gentrification, because now what they're doing is like they're making there's a thing called infill, right? Infill is when in between these buildings we're gonna prop up new buildings, yeah? And these are gonna be private, 50% private, 50% social. But actually, when you hear social, it's not council rents, right? So social can be sometimes, some places it could be even 80% of market value. Mm-hmm. Someone who's living in a council flat can't afford 80% of market value. That's why they're in a council flat, right? It's not, so that's what they're going to do here. And so when that happens, that's when you'll see new types of people moving here. Peckham is like one of the most up and coming areas apparently to be living in, right? Time Out said that, yeah? Why did they say that? When they say something like that, it means we're going to get more and more gentrification. We're already getting massive gentrification in these areas. Oh, not here, Peckham, Elephant and Castle, both of these areas are hugely affected, and the makeup of these areas is changing, These areas are amazingly diverse, You've got people from Latin America, you've got people from the Caribbean, you've got people from all parts of Africa, you've got people from Asia, you've got Middle Eastern people all living here, you've got British white working class people all living together. Is that not London? That's what represents London for me. But when if you all of a sudden you bring in people who are on a different income stream, and you're telling them, and they come in, and they mix, and they come into these areas, there's no problem them coming in, because that's fine. It's when the community that's here gets pushed out, that's what's wrong. You know, you talk to most campaigners, you talk to people in the Elephant Castle, people here, they haven't got a problem with development. We want our areas developed. Go to Peckham Centre, it needs developing. Even look around here, this area could be developed. But when councils, wherever it is in London, they want to develop the area, it means they develop those people who are living in the area out. And that's what's wrong. And that's what we've all, whether it's you as students or whether it's us who are living in these houses, we all have to fight against it. Because otherwise we're going to have a totally different London. London isn't going to be what it is, you know?